Well, hello and welcome to this week's video blog titled Journey to Wholeness. Catch up on health. I had an eye exam last week with the ophthalmologist. It's a full dilation and an hour examination of my eyes and the back of my eyes and whatever. And so it was a good report. There's no change in my vision pre and post. The heart attack and the stroke have been going to the same person for many years, so she's got the record. 6 months ago, she did an examination and found in my left eye a couple of spots of blood, which she says is not stroke related but diabetes. And so if you don't manage your sugar levels, it affects your eyes with pressure and obviously blood. And anyway, that has gone, so that's gotten better through my management of my health, through i.e. Lower sugar levels, loss of weight that benefits for eyes and whatnot. So that was pleasing. So I want to see her again in the year. She said, come back in the year and you're good. In terms of just health checkups, as of now I have 2 more scheduled visits. One with a person from the neurology department at Emory on the 3rd week of October, and then the 4th week of October I go back to the rehab doctor, who is the one who wrote my certificate to be off. And so at this point, as I shared before, he anticipates me being able to resume full-time duties on the 1st of November. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll go in the morning. Today's 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, but I got home from the office at about 3:15, and I went in early. So my capacity is increasing, and I'm not as tired, so I'm not like hanging for a nap. Once I finish this video with Letty, I'll get the dog and we'll go for an hour-and-a-half walk in the park, which is going to be nice because today is very cool. It's, just on 70 degrees and blue skies. That'll be lovely. So the walking, I'm doing a 90-minute walk each day. I have a rest maybe a Sunday, and so I'm enjoying the walking, and slowly again with the health getting stronger in the core, and of course a couple of pounds comes off every week or every other week. So we're doing that. We've got some excitement next week. We've got some visitors coming from Brisbane. We haven't seen one person for probably, we're in seminary, we lived next door to the apartments in 85, and so guests are coming, so that'll be great. This is the first time we've had her here and, in this house, so we'll be doing that. A couple of people who saw the recent blog on shame, guilt and the rights of reconciliation have asked some interesting questions about it, like that's kind of the healthy view of shame and guilt and reconciliation. What's the really other side of that, the dark side that we might know more than healthy shame and guilt? In my family, I'm one of 3 boys, adult men now, and my father was very keen for us to work and study. He was very angry we didn't get high marks, and I remember in high school when we came home from school, we had 3 terms in the school year, so every term you bring your report card home and hand it to father, he'd look at it and he would sign it and he'd take it back and give it to the school, the principal or whatever, and he'd look at the numbers. Well, one of my brothers, he had the amazing gift to get really low numbers. He's very smart, but he would not do the work, and he would spend a lot of time out of the classroom for being disruptive, and therefore sitting in the vestibule in front of the principal's office. So he would not study. So my father decided that he would do something about that. So he took my brother's report card and got thumbtacks and put it on the wall above the TV in our house where the living room is, so if any person came into the house to visit, You had to walk past the TV, you look up and you see the report card. You look down and see these really low numbers. And that's my father's attempt and the actual behaviour of shaming my brother on his school grades. I would say that's a very unhealthy, inappropriate way to induce shame. I said last week that shame has a beneficial effect because as we grow up, adults, mother, father, older sister, school teacher, Sunday school teacher, priest, they would say to you, you shouldn't do that, and they're stirring up the affect we call shame. And if they look at you, you don't do the wrong thing. If your mother's in the room, you don't cuss, you don't fight, you don't pinch. But the question is, when the parent leaves the room, will you continue to act right? Will you do the right thing in the absence of an authority figure? And that's part of the theory of shame and guilt. Where is the locus of authority? When you're a child, a wee one, the authority is outside you, called mother, father. I once saw a video, a little girl, and she was in the room, and the mother says, "No, play, but don't, go over there in the cupboard." And she had a hidden camera, and she had the room, and the kid walks, goes up, climbs, pulls a chair, climbs up on the counter, reaches up and gets a cookie jar. It was stuffing the cookies in the mouth, and then the parent creeps in, and with the camera, like America's Funniest Videos, and then she goes, "Mary," the daughter, and the kid turns around and goes, "I love you, Mummy," and so the mother's just cracking up, and this most sweet, innocent, angelic, "I love you, Mummy," that is guilt, not shame. And it's very sweet and convincing. So shame, healthy shame, would be apparent when a person, adult, is able to resist the urge to do something, to dress inappropriately. For example, if you went to the beach, you probably have bathers on, a man in Australia, the little briefs, or bikini, right? And you walk on the beach, and nobody would bat an eye. Nobody say, "God, look at her, she's in a bikini." Nobody would be offended. If, however, you got on your car and drove over to Lennox Square and got out in bikini and walked into Lennox Square with a little handbag in your shoulder or the credit card stuck down your kit and walked around, people were like, "Look at that, I can't believe she's dressed in a bikini," or even topless, whatever. So where you are is contextual. We set the context. So in the context of being at the beach, a bikini is fine. In the context of being at a high-end, very wealthy plaza, with high-end stores, that would not be right. So you would check yourself and say, well, I'd like to wear my bikini into the big store, but nah, that's not right. So when you do that, you show you have the capacity to self-observe, and you don't do it. So some people always need the authority figure to remind to not do it, which means they don't take responsibility for their actions. That's one of the indicators for inappropriate behavior. Then finally, guilt. As I said, healthy guilt is when we have remorse, and the word is compunction, being pierced in the heart for doing the wrong thing. We are upset. We are visibly upset at doing the wrong thing. But it's very hard to tell to the untrained eye when a person is caught for doing the wrong thing and they're crying and upset. A person who has inappropriate guilt is upset because they got caught, not because they did it wrong. And that is a very hard thing to see in another human being. So a person gets caught, in court, not court in the law court, they elocute, they say they're sorry, they're crying, and we say, they've got crocodile tears, they're upset, not because they did wrong, but because they got caught. And they actually are angry they got caught, but the tears reflect their frustration and their narcissism probably, that they were caught out. And so they are some behaviours what we can look for when we say to someone else, I'm upset, for doing wrong, or am I actually upset we got caught? The policeman pulls you over, you're upset. Yeah, why? Because you caught me. Not the same. So I hope that kind of expands upon what I said last time and provides more ways of thinking about having a healthy shame and healthy guilt. At the same time, not to be caught up in shaming processes of other people or ourselves, which is not going to be good for us in the long run, even in the short run. And to have appropriate guilt is a grace. And therefore, it takes a certain amount of humility to actually be guilty, and therefore to change our ways and amend our ways, as we say in the absolution. So I hope that's helpful for you today. Live well, live strong, live long. See you next time.